Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you to the first part of my journey into making Sumi, traditional Sumi ink sticks. This video will take you through the first, from day one to where the sticks go into a fire. From that moment on, it's 6 months of drying. So to give you a taster, we've done this video. There'll be a part 2, but this is part 1, which shows you a great deal of what happens and the process of making this stick. The sticks I make, or I've made here, are unique because they were made using UK caught squid, and traditional Sumi ink sticks only use soot. So I've mixed it with a 1-to-1 UK caught squid ink mix, which I am extremely pleased about. These are unique sticks to LMF. I'll even stamp them when they're done, I reckon. Hopefully it works. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. It's been years. I've been talking about it for years. Well, now finally we're getting it done. We've harvested enough ink to do it, and the process begins today. Enjoy the video, guys. Here it comes. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys. See you on the next one.
Oh, massive squid just grabbed the jig. Oh, massive squid just grabbed the jig and missed. Right, here we go. Keep your eyes peeled. Big jig, big squid just grabbed the jig. Like, went for it hard. Where is he? He totally missed it. Totally missed the jig, but went for it hard. Right, let's play it cool here. Man, he came out of nowhere. Like, just bang, just out of nowhere, just bang and grabbed the jig, but he didn't quite get it. Right, let's get ready to swap here. Maybe get the dark one on, or get the dunce down there. Wow, that was exciting. We're on, we're in, we've got him on. Oh, he's good one. Oh, he's a very good one. We've got a good squid on, guys, he's fighting good. I just got to be careful here. There. Oh my God, look at the size of that. Oh, he's in the net. Oh, it's huge. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, that's a beast. That's one of the biggest this year. Right, we've got to move stuff out of the way because he's going to soak everything. Guys, look at the size of it. A massive squid.
Okay guys, so what we need to do is first collect the ink from the squid. So in a squid, the ink sac is located at the front here, about the first third of the squid. There's an ink sac in there about here. In a cuttlefish, it's at the back over here. So we're going to do the squid and show you how I extract the ink sac from a squid. First you freeze the squid. Well, first you catch it, then you got to freeze it. So, but the tricky bit's going to be cutting this one open because it's frozen solid, but bear with me. So Take the membrane off of the ink, or take the ink out of the membrane. You've got to do this quite quickly, else it goes sort of soft. Really important to wear gloves for this, because it can get messy. Take off any excess membrane, just scrape it off. It's probably all we're going to get out of this one. That bit's not worth it. So out of that massive squid we've got this much ink, so you don't get a great deal. That one must have inked out. We should have got a little bit more than that, but that's basically the process. That's how you get the ink out of the squid. Awesome. Now we're going to do the same process of removing the ink sac, but from a cuttlefish. So remember, the ink sac in a squid's at the front, in a cuttlefish it's right at the back. So the ink has to travel all the way along the ink duct to get out the front of a cuttle. Well, that bone's not coming out, so we're going to do it, just go straight for it, because I can see the ink sac there at the back of the cuttle. So we're just going to go in. This one's frozen solid, so it looks like I can peel the back of the cuttle away. Yeah, there's the ink sac right at the back there. That there is the ink sac of this cuttle. So we can push it out from under the bone potentially. Let's give that a go. Going to be a pain. I need to get that bone off, really. Here it comes. Right, there you go. We've got to the sac there. Make sure it's all there. It is. So there's the ink sac. Let's just get that cuttle away a second. And now I'm just going to take the membrane off. So a good thing to do is just to hold the membrane for a couple of seconds in your hand, and then it goes really soft really quick. So now we just slide this under the membrane. So just holding it for those couple of seconds will have defrosted the membrane enough to get to the ink inside, and this is a perfect example here. Just unwrap the ink from the membrane, making sure not to drop the ink on any teak sides or anything like that. Get as much of the ink out as you can. And there it is. And that's how you extract it from a cuttle. Over time, when you've collected a few ink sacs and you've caught a few squid, you defrost them, as I've done here, and we get them all together in one place on one plate. And now I'm just removing the membranes from all of the squid sacs and cuttle sacs that we've extracted and placing them into a bowl, getting ready for the drying process. And that's everything peeled and ready for the drying process. So after a couple of weeks of drying, really making sure that every bit of moisture is out of the squid ink and that it's perfectly dry, it's ready to be mortar and pestled. I've chose to do it by hand with a teaspoon, just for the fun of it and interacting with it and really getting hands on and doing it like that. So yeah, mortar and pestle it and right down to a fine powder, and then you're ready for the next stage. So a traditional ink stick is made using soot from fires, so the jet black soot from a fire. As it so happens, my landlady's got a fireplace right here, so I'm going to go into this fireplace and I'm going to grab some soot or charcoal to break down into soot, and we're going to use it as a 1-to-1 ratio with the squid ink, because the soot acts as a pigment in the same ratio as squid ink. So if we mix the two together, we can make a traditional ink stick using a 1-to-1 soot ink ratio, or what would be considered 100% pigment once mixed. So we're going to go into this fireplace, and it's perfect because in the fireplace we've got perfect blocks of charcoal. I'll just take what I can find in there and we'll bind it and then do the ratios for the squid ink. Awesome. So my plan with that is to use the toothbrush just to brush off the outside, the white ash, before we pummel it down into a powder for our squid ink. Get off any undesirable colours, a bit of rust there from a nail, but you know, it's not going to make a lot of difference. But yeah, that's pretty much great straight away. But I'll go and do some brushing off to get this cleaned up, and then that's ready to be mortar and pestled down. Cheers guys. Now we're going to prepare our charcoal. Scraped off the majority of any undesirable stuff like the white ash or any discoloration where a nail has been used in the wood before it was burnt. Put that to one side, and now just going to break this down as best as possible, really. It can be powdered by hand by the look of it, for the most part. It's very, very powdery. I would recommend a face mask, obviously. So squid ink and charcoal are both carbon based. This is why they work so well together. So it's got to be the same ratio of squid ink to this charcoal. So we've got too much charcoal here for what we need, but it will be measured precisely at a later date. So we've got 1 part charcoal to 1 part squid ink. It's actually easier to just break it up with your fingers. Amazing, yeah. God, I wish the squid ink was that easy. The squid ink's more of a crystal and extremely difficult to break down, but the charcoal, this is easy just to break down with your fingers. So again, over the next couple of days or weeks, I'll be powdering this right down until we've got exactly the mix we want. Yeah, it's incredible. That powders down beautifully. I love it. And that's the process. I mean, this is the squid ink side by side with the charcoal. So you can see we've got a bit too much charcoal. And yeah, awesome. So we're progressing nicely with the project. Awesome. So I'm going to do a very basic non-scientific measurement here to mix charcoal with squid ink. Now it's been powdered down, so I'm going to use this teaspoon, and that's 1 level teaspoon of squid ink, 2 level teaspoons. I think you know what's coming. 3 level teaspoons. So it's going to be about 4 level teaspoons. And then we're going to do the same with this, with the charcoal. 1 teaspoon, 2, 3, 4. So that's both of the carbon compounds together. And then what I'm going to do is continue over the days and weeks pummeling this all together and making an extremely dense and powdery carbon based pigment mix out of the squid ink and the ash together. Sweet. Okay guys, so today's a good day, so quite excited. I've been doing some more mixing and pummeling of the ink and soot mix, but today our moulds turned up. So this is a chocolate finger mould, and that's what I'm hoping to make my ink sticks with. Based on what we've got there, we probably will only be able to make 1 or 2, but I don't know. Something else exciting has arrived today though, guys. And once this is mixed, we'll find out how many ink sticks we can make. So this is rabbit hide glue. So thank you to Magic. Oh, I thought that said Magic Farts. Magic Farts. Magic of Arts and Crafts. Magic of Arts and Crafts. Right, there you go. Thank you to them for the rabbit skin glue. So this is where things will be tricky, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to, hang on, we've got to do the mix. To create the rabbit skin glue, the mix has to be between 1 to 8 and 1 to 12 parts rabbit skin glue to water. You want it as a thick and doughy paste. So we'll start with 1 part to 8 water first, then you can add a bit of water just to be safe if you can't get the right mix. To make the ink stick itself, we need 60 parts carbon based pigments to 100 parts mixed rabbit skin glue. So that's where it's going to get a bit tricky. That's the critical point, but there's also other additives that we have to add at the time of mixing, but we'll get to that when we start mixing it. But it's all coming together nicely, all the ingredients are coming together, and I'm really looking forward to giving this a go and really hoping it works. But I'll see you on the next part of the journey, guys. Guys, it's time to prepare the binder for our ink block. As mentioned before, we're going to be using rabbit skin glue. So to create the binder, we need to mix rabbit skin glue. It's 1 part to 10. I did say 1 part to 8 earlier on, and that we'd increase the water volume, but I've looked around a bit, and the same method for making our ink stick is used in making paints for people to paint with inks. And it's used in the ink sticks as well, and it's 1 to 10 that they're all using. All the ones I've seen is 1 to 10. So we're going to use a 1 to 10. So I've got this cup, and we're going to fill it to the first line there. That'll be obviously 1 part, and then if I fill it to the top with water, that's 2 parts water. So 1 of these, 5 of those, and we should be good. So let's get this into here. So it's per volume and not weight. So if I could, I don't think there's going to be much in there. Enough to do it, is it? It might actually be just exactly right saying that. Yeah, I think it is going to be. Okay, brilliant. Well, that works out absolutely perfectly. So that's 1 part rabbit skin glue there. So we're going to put that into there. We use cold water initially. So we're going to mix this to the top, which will be 2 parts water each time it's done. I'm going to do it as 1 to 8 initially, I think. No, let's do 1 to 9. I'm going to go half and half, because I want a thicker paste, obviously, because we're making a block, a solid block, as opposed to paint. You know, it's all experimental. So I've done it 1 to 9. It's halfway between the 1.8 and 1.10. So what I've got to do is just mix the glue in and then leave it overnight. And what will happen is that glue will expand and absorb all of that water, and it will turn into a paste, like a wallpaper paste. So it's not mixing into the water itself, but left like that, it's going to absorb all of that water. So that's the ratio. I just want to move it evenly around, and then that will go in the fridge and be left overnight, and then hopefully tomorrow when I check this, it will be a thick paste, like a wallpaper paste. We'll see how that goes. It's all experimental, guys. It's all experimental. It's going in the fridge now. Okay guys, so what I've got set up here is a small bain-marie to melt the glue. So what I've had to do is measure the glue. I've got it sort of close to what we need, as close as I can. We've got 14 grams of wet glue that's been soaked, the rabbit skin glue, and we've got 20 grams of our carbon mix. So this has to be turned into a liquid. So we're going to put it into a bain-marie. So basically into this and then into that, and it's got to be gently stirred and warmed. So I need to get the glue out of here. I mean, this is all trial and error. I've never done anything like this before. So the water can't be boiling, so I'll have to turn that down in a minute. So we get our rabbit skin glue out of here. We're only going to get to make 1 stick out of this. Now you can add water to the glue because the water will evaporate in the drying process anyway, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it. So let's turn this down a little bit. I just want it ever so lightly simmering. So let's have a look at that. We don't want it boiling. You just want it enough to heat this to a stirring point. So we put the glue in a ceramic jar into the bain-marie like that. Just turning that down, we don't want it to boil too much really. Just enough to warm it. I mean, that's already liquid. Right, the rabbit skin glue is now liquid. It's been melted down. So what we've got to do is add 2 drips of honey. And this stops it all breaking down and helps to preserve the stick. So this honey I brought probably 3 or 4 years ago on Portsdown Hill, and it has been sat on top of a cupboard ever since. It has never been used. So it's my pleasure to open this and put just 2 drips of it into that. I'm going to clean the top off and just pause it for a second, and then I'll be back. Right, I'm back with our honey, so I'm going to open it up. You'll have to excuse the dogfish rash on my arm I got the other day, which was horrendous. Get the seal off of that, crack the lid. We want 2 drops of honey into this. I don't know how you get 2 drips, there's 1. And there's 2, so 2 drops of honey. Thank you to the lady on Portsdown Hill who sells the most amazing honey when her bees are ready in the summer. Let's put that to one side and then stir this in. Stirring the honey into the mix. So we're ready to add the soot in a minute. So what we've made here is the binding agent for this stick that we're making, stick of ink. So now we're ready to add the soot. Now if all goes well, this should turn into some kind of thick paste. I'm not so sure guys, but let's see how it goes. A paste that's akin to a dough, a type of dough. Let's get you down a bit closer on this as we mix this up. So this should go into a thick paste. I've added a bit of water to it, so it might not go completely thick straight away. Again, the rabbit skin glue is the binding agent. It's got to be a malleable dough. And they say if it's too powdery, add more rabbit skin glue. And if it's too watery, add more of the carbon mix. To be honest, I'm not sure what that is. That's too powdery. I'd say. Yeah, that's way too dry, so I'm gonna have to add. Well, I don't know. Obviously, not being an expert on it, I don't know what it is, consistency wise. But first time I've ever done this, probably the first time anyone's done it like this in the UK. So would that be pressable into a press? That's the thing. Into an ink stick. I think that needs more glue. So bear with us while I get the bain-marie going up. I'm just going to put a bit more rabbit skin glue in it and then we'll be back, alright? So I'm just melting a bit more glue to add to this because that's what they say. If it's too powdery, add more glue. If it's too sort of runny and liquid, you add more soot. So we've got to get the mix right, or work with it. Right, that's the glue mixed again, tiny little bit. Doesn't matter if any water goes in there with it, obviously, because it's going to evaporate off. So let's try that. That's looking better now, actually. That's looking a bit more like a dough, maybe a little bit watery, but as I say, the water in it will evaporate off. As I say, this is a first for me, so we're all new to it here. I think I've added too much glue to that. What it has to do is go into the mould and dry a little, and then I've got to take it out of the mould. I mean, that looks mouldable. Let's get it into a mould. Right, that's it. So I'm going to try and make a a stick or maybe two out of this in this mould and let it dry enough for me to be able to remove it from the mould then. But let's get it in there. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, I think we're going to get two out of this, you know. Sweet. Okay. Right, okay, we've made two ink sticks. They now need to be left to dry and we'll see how it goes, alright? So once they've dried enough to come out of there, we'll do another part to this video. Alright guys, cheers, I'll see you on the next part. We've got to get that out of there without cracking it, that's the thing. Cheers guys. Okay guys, so 1 day has passed since I pressed these sticks, or since I pressed an ink mould into these sticks in my attempt to make Sumi ink sticks. I want to take them out of here because they should hopefully still be a bit doughy and soft. I'm worried if I try and press them out when they're a bit harder, they'll break in half or crack, and that might even happen now. So this is the stage I was most concerned about, getting them out of this. You know, this is the point where I could crack them. I mean, from this point on, it's down to nature and the drying process as to whether or not they crack in the drying process. But I've got to very, very carefully try and remove these from this mould. I'm assuming they've shrunk a bit. Wow, they pop out. Oh wow, okay. Oh man, well that's gone a lot better than I was expecting. So there's the sticks, one facing down and one up. Now I need to get these out of this quite warm ambient air temperature of summer and into a very cool space. So traditionally these are placed into the ashes of a fire, and that's what I'm going to do here. So very carefully transport these to the fire and get them in the ashes, guys. Okay guys, so this stage of the process that we're at takes months. Months and months, the slow drying process in the ashes of a fire. So I'm scared to touch these things. But what I've got to do is get them into the ashes of a fire. So there's a tray in the fire full of ash. Now I'm going to gently but very gingerly put each stick into the ash of the fire, and then you cover it up. And that's where they'll remain for the foreseeable future. I'll see you in quite a few months, guys. Cheers.